Hi everyone, it's Jessie with a special pop-up story time of Witches Spell Trouble by John Patience. The two witches, Esmeralda and Griselda, were sisters. They lived together in a tumble-down cottage on the edge of Spooky Wood. The sisters were both extremely ugly, but for some reason, they imagined that they were beautiful. In fact, they would often argue as to who was the better looking. "I am the more beautiful," said Griselda. "You are nothing but a crone." Esmeralda was very angry, but keeping her temper, she replied, "It's true, you would be quite dazzling if it were not for that wart on the end of your nose. It's rather a pity when you could get rid of it so easily." "How could I get rid of the wart?" asked Griselda. "I have a little spell that will do the trick," replied Esmeralda. "I'll just jot down the list of ingredients for you." The list was quite long, and some of the items were difficult to obtain. For instance, one bat to be caught in flight. Sounds simple, but broomsticks are not as maneuverable as bats. Griselda's temper became very frayed before she caught one. "Never mind, Grunge," said Griselda. "It's all in the cause of my great beauty." Grunge the cat very wisely kept his thoughts to himself. 3 fat frogs from Stinking Swamp were no easier to catch than the bat. Griselda edged her way out along the branch of a tree. The frogs were almost within reach when there was a loud crack. The branch snapped, and the witch found herself up to her waist in evil-smelling slime. Not very nice. Still, she did manage to grab 3 fat frogs and stuff them under her hat. "Perhaps when the wart disappears, a handsome prince will come along and beg me to marry him," mused Griselda. "What do you think, Grunge?" Eventually, Griselda had gathered together all the ingredients for the spell, and the two witches began to boil it all up. The potion gave off colors of weird-colored smoke, and the smell was horrible. Though the cauldron was full to begin with, it finally boiled down to a strange blue liquid, just enough to fill a bottle. The witches stood the bottle on a shelf and went to wash their hands, ready for dinner. That was when catastrophe struck. Grunge, who was chasing a mouse, knocked the bottle over. It spilled into the witch's stew. "I can hardly wait to drink the potion," said Griselda. "Yes, dear, after dinner," said Esmeralda slyly. "When the wart is gone, I am sure you will look quite radiant." Esmeralda ladled out the stew, and the witches began to eat. Wham! Bam! They were both transformed into monsters. Esmeralda realized that her trick had gone badly wrong. "Oh, we are both hideous now," she wailed. "You're more hideous than I am," cried Griselda. "Am not," shouted Esmeralda. "Are too," screamed Griselda. Grunge sneaked out of the door.